Hey guys, welcome back to Ken's Chop Shop. I'm probably going to go backwards on some construction videos on the garage a little bit. Not accidentally, but I edited the tenant insulation video before I did the cleaning and painting of the steel frame, and then I also sealed the concrete floor before we put all that stuff up. So I'll make two short videos. I'll try to shorten them up as much as possible, because it's just one of the steps I did. I just wanted to show what I did and what I used. So this one's going to be the start of the painting one. I'll show you the paint that I use, because I don't think I have actually any clips of that in the video footage I've got. Yeah, there's a sneak peek of the mezzanine and stuff that you'll see in the future videos. That one, I got a bunch of good footage of doing that. I'll probably do that in a couple parts, just because there's a lot of detail that I did, or a lot more detail that I had time to cover that I didn't have time to cover when we were putting the building up. Anyway, back to painting the building. So this is the paint that I used. Let me get this turned around. So you'll see in the video, I just power washed all the steel after we put it up, because it was dirty from laying on the ground, or not on the ground, but on boards, but it still got dirt all over it. So I power washed it and brushed off some of the stuff. I didn't sand it. I didn't do anything more. I was using this oil-based paint. This stuff sticks to pretty much anything, as long as it's clean. And once I power washed it, it was clean. There was no need to sand anything, in my opinion. I'm sure somebody will have a different opinion, but anyway, I use this Rust-Oleum smoke gray oil-based paint, and we brushed and rolled the whole thing. So you can see what it looks like. I only did one coat. You can still see through, like you can see, I don't know if y'all can see it, but yeah, there's some spots where, when we overlapped, it didn't, because it was drying up, like we didn't get it perfect, but from, when you step back 5 feet away, you can't see that stuff, but when you get up close to it, you can see some spots. I mean, and potentially I could go back and roll the faces of these things that are still exposed, just to get a more even coat on them. But we only did one coat on all the steel in the entire building, and we used, let's see, I can't remember what I bought now. I think I bought like 12 or 15 gallons. I can't remember the exact price now, but I'd originally gone to Sherwin-Williams and got a quote on some of their industrial paint that they sell. That's basically a gray industrial paint that was latex, and they wanted like $800 and some for the paint to do this. And instead I spent like $300 and bought oil-based paint, which is much better than any latex paint. It's just harder to get now because it's not as environmentally friendly, I guess. But the shit works great. So, all right. Well, here we are. Here I am, power washing all the framework. I got a electric Goodway power washer that I'd gotten a few years ago. It was broken, and I ended up repairing it and getting it working again. Anyway, it works good. It's not super strong, but it works good for general cleanup without destroying stuff. But yeah, so I spent better part of the afternoon power washing everything, and then I think the next day is when I got up there and kind of blew off any of the extra water, and then starting on the dry areas, and started brushing some paint on. You'll see that in a minute. Oh, and I just looked it back up to see how much I paid for the paint. I think I bought 12 gallons because that was all that one of the local stores had. but at the time I want to say it was either $32 or $38 a gallon. But I just looked it up now, and it's like $55 a gallon now. So I guess I'm glad I bought extra. I only ended up using like 5.5 gallons to paint everything. You know, we didn't paint the outside of the building because it was going to get covered up. We only painted the basically 3 sides of everything that you could see. You know, so the stuff pointing up to the sky we didn't paint because it was you weren't going to see it once the insulation was on. Same thing with the stuff going out to the outside. You know, those back sides we didn't paint, but everything you could see from the inside got painted. And I think we spent so I worked on it for maybe half a day or so by myself painting it. And then I want to say the next day my dad came over and both of us painted together all day. And then the next day we painted for a little while, and then it started to rain halfway through. So we called it quits for that day. And then I think I spent can't remember if it was me and my dad or if it was just me by myself, but I think the last day was only like another half day finishing up. So really it was about 3 days worth of painting, brushing and rolling the whole thing. I thought about using an airless sprayer because my dad had one that I could borrow and spraying it, but with the neighbors being close enough, that and me and having a bunch of cars in my own driveway and other stuff, I didn't want, if it was latex paint, it probably would have dried in the air before it landed on stuff. But being oil-based paint, I knew there was no way it was ever going to dry before it stuck on all the vehicles and everything else, and I didn't want to put a gray mist on every car. I didn't want to have to clean all that up, so it was worth just taking the time to cover the floor in plastic and just brush and roll it. It worked. May have taken a little bit longer, but I didn't cover myself in paint. I didn't cover the lift in paint. I didn't cover all the vehicles in paint. I didn't have to spend hours putting plastic on all the vehicles and everything and trying to cover everything up, and then having the neighbors mad at me because they've got gray mist on all their vehicles. So it was just the smarter option to brush and roll it. I'm just doing exactly what I said. I'm brushing and rolling the paint on. Nobody wants to watch paint dry or people paint, so I tried to speed this stuff up as fast as possible. And there's no need to have a ton of footage of painting because it's you see this process and it's pretty much the same for everything else. I rolled everything I could roll easily, and then I took the brush and cut in around the bolts and then hard to get little areas. I used a little mini roller for everything with a I think it was a microfiber roller cover for fine finishes. So it got left a pretty nice smooth. The oil-based paint smooths out. Kind of gets a nice smoothness to it because it dries slower anyway. So that stuff flowed out nice. Really I probably could have put 2 coats on the whole building, but I wasn't spending the time doing that. 1 coat was good enough from a couple feet away. If you get right up on it, like I said earlier, you can kind of see through it a little bit in certain spots especially where I would roll this one area and then I would come back and move. I'd move to another area and then come back and roll it. So some areas were getting basically 2 coats on where that overlap was, and another coat over top of it would hide all that stuff. But in all honesty, I don't care. It looks good enough from standing on the floor looking at it, and that's all that matters. It looks good in pictures. It looks good on video. You don't see the overlaps and stuff like I'm talking about unless you're up close to it. Most people don't notice any of that stuff. Like I said, I really don't care. It looks way better than the red. And I've still got 4.5 gallons of paint left over to, if I decide later I want to paint the faces of all the I-beams, just because you can see them and they're down low, because most of the bottom 8 foot is going to get covered in wood. So all the stuff you can get close to, you're just not going to see. Alright guys, well that's it for this one. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and the next video will be sealing the floor, and I'll talk about the sealer that I used and why. But the following videos after that will be of the mezzanine build, so there'll be a lot of good detail into that video, or videos, because it should be a couple videos.